What's up, YouTube? I got a question. And the question, well, first of all, it was a statement. It was a PM, and let me paraphrase it. Um, the commenter was a younger black woman, 24, so roughly my age. Did the whole college thing, is trying to get into her career, so she's an up and coming professional. Um, and she did notice what I've said and what other men have said in regards to a lot of professional black women placing too much emphasis on their jobs or their level of education and their profession. Um, she admits she does see this in her older sister and some of her friends in regards to them talking about their dating issues as being a almost direct result of their career and their level of education. Um, so it's cool to finally hear other women understand where we're coming from. At the end of the day, like I said, this isn't us making this stuff up. The majority of the stuff that I talk about, right, in an ideal world, I can only pray never happens. But if you look at life, you do see what's going on in terms of what we as men are talking about. Um, so she wanted to get my take on why this happens. Why do I feel this has happened? Well, the way I feel is this: when you are valued, okay, when somebody says I find you attractive, it's almost human nature to not even want to know why. It's just more so, you're feeling me, let me create the reasons in my head. Okay? Um, for an example, let's say a girl likes a guy because he's funny and he's charismatic, but that guy doesn't want to know. He rather wants to, he wants to leave it up to his own imagination. All he wants to know is that she likes me, but he wants to have this whole idea that she's feeling me because of my swag, because I'm the best looking guy, my gear is on point. So he wants to take it and run with it. He may not want the actual truth, okay, to why she chose him. Oh, you're funny, you're smart and articulate. Because her saying that, he may take it as, well, if that's the only reason, well, I'm lacking in everywhere else, but it's not that you're lacking, it's just that that's what stood out about you, and that's why she chose you. But regardless, a lot of people don't want to know why, and the same goes for women. Why do you like me? Blah 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 blah, and it's like, do you really want to know the truth? So a lot of people like the whole idea of relying on this whole concept of, ignorance is bliss or whatever they call it. Okay, so people tend to overestimate how they're valued because they want to use it as a self-esteem booster. She already likes me, so I don't worry about that. Or he already likes me, so I'm cool there. So, I'll just take it and run with it to help my ego out. And I call that overestimating how you are valued. I've had women before, hey, tell me why you like me or tell me why you're feeling me. And, even then, they'll ask the question, but I know they don't want the truth. Right? Nobody wants the truth because, like I said before, my template is wide open. Like, you're not just going to be cute and I'm going to be attracted to you. There's a lot of things that will make me attractive to you. Right? Your beauty's not going to stand alone. Right? I've been attracted to women that may have not been mainstream to other men, but I like the way they dressed, or I like the way they talked, or I like their viewpoint, right? And sometimes if a chick wants to ask you, why do you like me? And you tell her, oh, I like your viewpoints on certain issues. I don't know if they want to hear that, right? So I'm not saying that as men, we lie, but in reality, it's the truth. I already like you, I'm already feeling you, so I'm not going to necessarily tell you something that's gonna, I don't want to say it hurts your ego, but take away from whatever boost you get. But I know it's not a good thing. It does more harm than good, but it happens. It is what it is. So anyways, people tend to overestimate how they're valued because they want to do it themselves, and partly because the person who is doing the valuing doesn't really come off as upfront in terms of why they're feeling you. It's just like, I'm feeling you, that's all you need to know. Trust me, you don't want to know the details, I'm just feeling you. So it goes both ways. But anyways, it's very dangerous. I don't do it anymore. I try to be as upfront as possible, and trying to be clear, right? Just because you stand out in a certain area doesn't mean you're whack, right? If I tell a chick, oh, I like you because of your personality, it doesn't mean that you're not, physically attractive, or it doesn't mean that you're lacking in any other area. So, I just have to set the record straight on that. But anyways, as it relates to the video, when I was 18, 19, 21, 20, everybody wanted to be grown. Everybody wanted to do the grown-up thing, especially the women, okay? The women mature faster, and going out, women go out earlier than men do, because they can get into a lot more clubs and bars here and there because they're women, and men pay to buy you drinks and to buy you food. So yeah, certain clubs and bars have age limits, but I've known girls and cousins and whatever who have been getting into quote unquote 21 and over clubs since they were like 19, 20, right? Especially if they were like extremely attractive, they didn't really care. That's what brings the men in, and the men bring the money. So you have women who are going out, and they're getting hit on. Now, the problem, okay, with a lot of professional, educated black women is that when they are younger, they don't truly understand the value of being younger, okay, especially if, they're found attractive by, a lot of men. Men place a high value. So there are men who go out and they're looking for the youngest, most cutest girl in the club. Okay? That's all they're looking for. So you can walk into a club as a woman, and to be real with you, not even be the most attractive woman in there. But if you come in and you're the youngest, men are going to be honest. So if a chick comes in and says, I'm 20, 21, and the rest of the girls in there are 27, 28, the men are probably going to be like, what's good with the 20-year-old? What's good with the 19-year-old? What's good with the 21-year-old? She's younger, right? So the women got a lot of attention, and I'm talking about, personally from my own experience. So when my homegirls were 19, 20, 21, they got a lot of love, they got a lot of attention. Now, what they did though, unfortunately, was they assumed that they were being valued, because they're young, because they're cute, but because they were in school, because, they were on track to be in certain professions. And they thought that that was being included in terms of how they were valued, but it wasn't. Right? If you're a woman in the club and you're educated, depending on the club you go to, and this is one of the reasons why I don't club, when the men are looking at the women, okay, they're looking at who's the youngest and who's the cutest. Call it shallow, it is what it is. So the men aren't factoring in what you do, okay? It doesn't matter if you are, on track to become a doctor, or you sell cell phone accessories at the local mall, right? If you're young and you're cute, somebody's trying to holler. It is what it is. But like I said before, the women don't see it that way. The women want to believe that they're being viewed on being the complete package, when in reality they're just being viewed based off being young and cute, right? I had some homegirls who would go to Vegas a lot, and they would come back. Their ego was on swole. They thought they were the shit because they were getting hit on. And if anybody's, been to Vegas, there's, ballers up there. There's men with money, not just, of all different races, and they spend 20s like singles. So they came back with their head blown. But it was because a lot of the clubs that they were going to, right? Because, Vegas, they have some bottom run clubs, and they have some medium to upscale clubs, right? And they were going to the medium upscale, and they, for whatever reason, were the youngest girls in there. So they were getting hit on by everything, right? Other women, men of all different races. And they came back and they took it as if, they couldn't get enough of us because, we're young, cute, and we're in college. But in reality, it was just because they were young and cute. Okay, they could have pretty much been anything, and they would have still got the attention. So to bring things to a conclusion, they were over valuing their worth, right? The dudes were feeling them, and they said, yeah, you're feeling me, so I'm going to leave it up to myself to fill in the blanks in terms of why, right? It's like, I'm going to give you a blank check, but, I'm going to write in, how much the check is going to be worth. So you had that going on. So now if you factor women going through this for 4 or 5 years, after a while it's going to stick. Okay, so if you went from 19 to 25, thinking that you're being valued for being young, cute, and also being professional, you pretty much were off for the last 5-6 years, because it's really more so about you being young and cute. And to bring things to a close, I think this is why you have a lot of women who are overly reliant on, or who have this false belief that their career and their education are the reasons to why they are desirable. So you guys take it easy. God bless.